Hey guys, I really hate making videos like this, but I just wanted to get this information out real quick. I don't know if anyone else has covered this yet, but I was just in Las Vegas and I stayed about a block away from this chapel that I have always remembered and known as the Little White Chapel. And here this is called Welcome to the White Chapel Tunnel of Love. I just want you to hear what he says in this real quick. Oh, this may not actually be the right one. But on the title, see that? The Little White Chapel in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, let me go to the next video. This one also, the title is Las Vegas Wedding 11/11/11, the Little White Wedding Chapel. Now, that's a lot of editing and a lot of trouble and a lot of hassle and a lot of footage to get the name of the place where they got married wrong. It looks like this was uploaded by the professional photographer that these people hired, if he was such a thing, for their wedding. So I'm not trying to imply that just because it may have been a professional photographer that it gives it more credence, because it could have been anyone. But it just watching this whole thing that I did, it seemed like it was done pretty professionally by someone who knew what they were doing and had the right equipment. But then they foolishly named it the Little White Chapel instead of a Little White Chapel. And then right here, I just wanted to show how sometimes this happens. For example, Grand Central Station, that many people remember as such, has now always been called Grand Central Terminal. And there's a movie out right now, and all it is named is Grand Central. They don't call it station or terminal. They just made it generic, okay? And obviously it's speculation, but I wondered if it's something where they anticipate it may flip-flop. They just call it the base name. So now this movie just calls it Grand Central. You'd think they would have called the movie Grand Central Station or Grand Central Terminal, but they just called it Grand Central. And then the movie is all about Grand Central Station, which they never say once in the movie, or Grand Central Terminal. They just keep saying Grand Central through the whole movie, and it's just bizarre. Why would you call it Grand Central over and over again in a movie when it's called Grand Central Terminal? Why not just call it the terminal? And it kind of almost seemed like they did that here with Little White Chapel. That's all they call it. They don't say or the. Now, I've literally just gotten off the phone with the chapel, and the woman there said that since they first opened, it's always been a Little White Chapel, and that the lady who owns it, Miss Richards, is still the owner. And I'm going to show you guys a video here in just a minute that I consider to be very powerful residue. I think this is just to show that it's currently being called a Little White Wedding Chapel, and it's on sale for $12 million. But this is the explosive video right here for me. Listen to what the man says. Listen carefully.
Remember that? Yeah, that worked that well. Anyway, at the center of it all is owner and ordained minister, Charlotte Richards. What brings you here to the Little White Wedding?
Oh, I paused it because I thought I'd gone too fast. Hopefully you heard him say that. Let me just go back a second. Here we go.
Owner and ordained minister, Charlotte Richards. What brings you here to the Little White Wedding Chapel today?
What brings you here to the Little White Wedding Chapel? Okay, I'll even slow it down. Here we go. Sorry, wrong thing. Let's go to playback speed. We'll go to half speed.
Ordained minister, Charlotte Richards. What brings you here to the Little White Wedding Chapel today?
What brings you here to the Little White Wedding Chapel today? Now, why would this guy go through all this trouble of doing a documentary about this place and then get the name wrong? So let's let it play. It goes right to the owner and operator.
Renew our wedding vows after 24 years.
Is anybody else here to witness this? You, your wife, and myself. There you go. I'm here to make sure everything goes okay.
We're at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, that's owner and operator. I think it's Charlotte Richards. He introduces her here in the beginning. And you can watch this video yourself and see how he
You, your
introduces
wife,
her.
and myself. There you go. I'm here to make sure everything goes okay.
We're at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, you heard it. We're at the Little White Wedding Chapel in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the lady who's owned it for like 50 some years. She's in her 80s, and it's for sale. Now, this is their website, okay? This is A Little White Wedding Chapel's website, okay? Again, their official website. You can all validate this for yourselves. And then look what they put here. At the Little White Wedding Chapel, we provide various blah, 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 blah. Even on their own website, they call it wrong. And then in the very next line, it says, upon entering a Little White Wedding Chapel. Sorry about those noises. That's someone messaging me annoyingly just as I'm trying to make a video. So we see this so often whenever there's a Mandela effect. In the same article, they'll reference it two different ways. And let's see what happens on this one. Okay, listen to this man. He's doing an official review for Fox News about this wedding chapel. See if we can get it to play. I'm going to pause the video until I can get it to play.
Here we are at the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas.
Here we are at the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas.
Foot apartment with a little chapel.
I'm going back 10 seconds.
Here we are at the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas.
Here we are at the Little White Chapel in Las Vegas. And literally the sign behind him says A Little White Chapel. And they named this, welcome to the Little White Chapel Tunnel. So guys, if this isn't a Mandela effect, I don't know what is, okay? I don't know if it makes more sense to people's minds to just say the instead of I understand that. But this is tricky, especially for people who don't believe in the Mandela effect at all. I think it gives more credence that people who don't know something very well remember it the way it used to be versus those who claim to know it so super well. I don't know if that makes sense. It's almost like overkill. Like someone who says, oh no, I used to watch Sex and the City from the very first time it started, and I've always known that it was Sex in the City, versus someone who's like, you know what, I hated that show. I never watched so much as one episode, but I always heard it referenced and saw it written in the TV guide as Sex in the City. I could be wrong, but to me that gives it more credibility, okay? I've never gone to this stupid chapel. I just have always heard it referenced as the Little White Wedding Chapel. And so I just played a video of the owner and operator who's been there since it started. It used to be her house, saying, we're here at the Little White Wedding Chapel. Why would she make such a monumental mistake at her own business and call it the Little when it's a little? Why wouldn't she simply say, we're here at a Little White Wedding Chapel? You know what I'm saying? Why name it a Little White Chapel if you're going to just say the Little White Chapel? Why not just call it the Little White Chapel? Anyway, I know I'm ranting here and I sound all jacked up on Mountain Dew, but I'm just trying to make a point. As we all know, the most difficult people to convince are those that we shouldn't be wasting our time trying to convince, but sometimes it's hard to resist. So this is a Mandela effect for me. Thank you.